welcome to another episode of the Mr. Anthony Show. Damn it, let's go. What? Man, we are cranking these things out, baby. This thing is becoming a well-oiled machine right before everyone's eyes. And it's all because of the love from the people. We always gonna start and end with the love for the people. Because if we ain't got love, what else we got? Hate? Ain't nobody got time for that. You feel me? So I appreciate the time that you all take out of your day. And I don't care how much time that is. Any time that you was spent looking at any content of mine is truly, truly appreciated. And for that, y'all deserve the fireworks. That's for y'all. You feel me? So it's truly a blessing to be able to do this and get the reception and the participation and the motivation, all of those things from the people. So for that, I am humbly appreciative of everything that y'all have done to support the Mr. Anthony Show. And we got a good one for you. I'm bringing the ladies in. Yeah, we're going to get some lady perspective, some womanly perspective on this particular episode. And we're going to touch on some topics that may be near and dear to some of y'all hearts. Touching on submission in the household. How'd that go? We're going to talk a little bit about doing things 50-50 in the household. How that work? How that work? And we also gonna touch on, are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? All of these things tend to be pressure points in relationships, and we gonna touch on them today and add a little clips and get some different insight on that. So with that being said, I'm gonna bring the ladies on. We about to get it going. But ladies, I do appreciate y'all joining me today. We're going to have some good topics and touch on some good things. I'm really, really looking forward to getting y'all feedback on some things that'll probably clear it up for some men and clear it up for some ladies too. So, first off, Nikki, how you doing today? How was your day? This is Miss Shimon Nikki Burton, everybody. Everybody give her a nice round of applause, shall we? Thank you. Thank you.
I actually had a pretty good day today. I'm doing good and I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, Miss Keela Puckett. You know what I want you to do? I want you to obviously tell them a little who you is, but tell them how long you've been married.
Well, I've
Who are you?
been with my husband for 32 years. It's going on 33 years, and we've been married. It's going on 22 years. I'm sorry. It's going on. Yes, 22 years we've been married.
And this started when y'all was how old?
High school.
High school. So
Yes.
yeah,
High school sweethearts.
It's been a minute. That's the
It's
thing.
been a minute.
That's the thing with beauty.
Yes.
That has to be celebrated. So we appreciate you coming on with your knowledge and wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Tracy Leno, pleasure to have you, ma'am. How was your day today?
Thank you. My day was good. It was really good. I'm glad to be off work and glad to be here with you all.
Fantastic. Definitely. Well, I appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day, and we're going to jump right into it. So here, I got a question, and I'm sure I'm not the only man that has had this question for ladies. First of all, do y'all believe in 50-50?
No.
Do you believe in it?
We just had that
that's
conversation.
the first question, right? And Nikki, do you believe in it?
I'm not against it. That's my answer.
Keela, do you believe in it?
When you say 50-50,
You know what I mean in reference to how, the 50-50 thing in a household, you and your spouse, y'all do things 50-50. Now, without going into the bullet points of it, do you believe in it?
I think it all depends,
Okay, Trace.
and I will have
Yeah,
to
we're gonna
explain.
elaborate.
So I
We're
feel
gonna elaborate.
okay.
All right, we
Okay.
good. I just want to see
So
where
it all
we at.
depends. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes. But I'll have to explain later my point of view.
Got you, Trace.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's probably the same. In the past, I would be like, no, I don't believe in 50-50, but I'm with Keela. It all depends. It
So
depends on the situation.
got you. Now, how would you define it?
How would I define 50-50?
Yes.
I would define 50-50 as everything that we are doing in the household, out the household, vacations, car repairs, groceries, everything is split. You give your 1,000 a month, he give his 1,000 a month. So
Got you.
I'm figuring no matter what the incomes are, if you make 400,000, they make 50,000, y'all still giving the same amount to the household.
Understood. And Keela?
Well, for me, you want to know like what does 50-50 mean to me?
Yes. How would you define it?
I would define 50-50 as, each person pay half of all the bills. So that's what 50-50 would mean to me.
Understood. Nick?
Yeah, I think 50-50 means the same to me. Everything is split down the middle. But I will say that when it comes to like trips or something like that, I think you would probably pay on your own instead of 50-50 splitting it. If y'all not taking a trip together, I guess I'll say that. But 50-50 to me is straight down the middle.
Got you. Okay. So based on what I've gathered from all of y'all answers, that 50-50 is financial. Is that safe to say? Based on your
Yes.
answers, based on the answers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I love those answers. I'm going to play the clip and we're going to double back on this.
I got a request. Can we put the 50-50 conversation to bed? Here's the thing. When we talk about going 50-50, the one thing that most people don't do is take into consideration that there is more than one way to go 50-50. Do I want a man who is a provider? Yes. Do I want a man who is a protector? Yes. Will I contribute? Absolutely. Because in relationships, 50-50 is you taking care of me and me taking care of you. We came into this relationship whole, 100-100. But this 50-50 split, it's got to be me making sure that I'm not putting too much on you and you making sure you're not putting too much on me. See, I can't speak for other women, but I can speak for myself. Just like the soft life that I want to live, I want my man to live one too. I don't want him struggling trying to pay my bills. Look, if my man is paying the bills in the household and he is a provider, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to provide the entertainment. I am going to book the trips. I'm going to make sure that he got clothes, shoes, whatever it is that he need. Socks, drawers, you got it. He not going to have to buy it himself because I got that boo. Like if you want 50-50 and you want me to contribute to the household financially, then when you see me struggling to maintain the household because I've had a lot on my plate for the week, then why don't you step in and say, hey, babe, I got dinner tonight. Even if you can't cook, order out, whatever it is that you're going to do. 50-50 does not only mean financially. 50-50 is me taking something off your plate and you taking something off mine. What y'all think about that?
She right.
Interesting, right?
She right. She's right. Yeah.
So that now based on what we discussed and based on the clip, does that change your view on it at all, or just give me your take on it? We'll start with Nick.
It didn't all the way change it for me. It's my view is still pretty much the same. I think what happens is even if you say 50-50, what happens in a household, let's say you got kids, right? It's normally still on a woman. And so that's why I talked about it financially, because sometimes that 50-50 is really just financially. I do feel what she's saying though. So we 50-50, we 50-50 on everything. We 50-50 on taking these kids, and I'm picking them up some days, you picking them up some days, or vice versa. You drop them off in the morning, I pick them up at night. So, grocery shopping, things like that. And I do think that when people talk about 50-50, it's always the man being the provider. And no, I ain't going to do the 50-50. So I do agree with her on some of it, but I do still stick to what I said about the straight down the middle. It has to be, we doing this together.
Got you. And doing it together is bigger than just the finances.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Keela?
Well, again, how I feel
Mm-hmm.
when you say 50-50, me personally in my relationship, I don't believe in 50-50. I know of people that do it, but personally, I feel like if we're doing this, if we're married, then we're doing this. So I find that I benefit more with saying, hey, let's put all the money in the bucket. I feel like I get more out of it when you put the money in the bucket instead of saying, we're going to do 50-50. So when it comes to be financially and or when just come to just different tasks or dealing with the kids, if you have the strength and or if you have um, the what I'm trying to say. If you whatever strengths you have in a relationship, in or let's say if you have the availability of picking the kids up or doing certain things, then that's what you can do and it all depends. I don't feel like it should be 50-50 where you pick the kids up and I drop them off. I think it all depends on the schedule. And again, when it comes to financially, personally, I feel like that financially, we have not had, my husband and I, we have not had any issues with just putting the money in the bucket because it's not that this is mine versus this is yours. It's just that we pay bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that done in, because so like in some marriages, obviously not all, but when it comes to finances, there's a joint account created in some cases, right? And normally that joint account is used for paying the bills out of. And there's maybe a savings account, right? You're gonna put some money up. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna have an account for paying the bills. We're gonna have an account for saving, and for some, I know in my cases, I had an account on the side for play money, right? You have your play money. I got me a little play money. I ain't gonna touch your play money. You don't touch my play money. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's how you roll, but I know that some people go like that, and that tends to work. And but I'm not gonna ramble. Trace, over to you. How you feel?
You know, I would say just what Keela said.
Mm-hmm.
In my past situation, we we didn't have a joint. I mean, we had a joint account, but we didn't put all of our money in the bucket. It was, you put so much in, I put so much in. And that was one of our biggest issues.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that I grew up in a household where my father came in and basically just gave my mother his check. She doled him out a little allowance.
Right.
He did whatever. My mother took care of the household.
Right.
So I know for me, and whatever I get in the future, I don't want to do that whole separate thing. I think you would benefit more. And I used to tell my person that like we would do so much more if we did this together. Like Keela said, we put it all in one bucket, we pay the bills, we do what we need to do. Even like you said, and you have your account for your extra stuff, I'll have my account for my extra stuff, but we still
Right.
have that main account.
Right.
So like I say, in the future, I would never do that again. Never. We gonna have to put it all in the bucket and do what we need to do. Because again, I think you come out better when y'all putting all y'all money together. I think financially you come out better as far as the household and everything. I think it's just supposed to be give and take. You do some things, I'll do some things. If I'm tired today, you cook today. It y'all are supposed, just like the young lady said, you supposed to take stuff off of my plate. I'm supposed to take stuff off of your plate. We need to be making sure each other is okay. So, like I said, I've been in a situation like that where it wasn't, I won't even say it was 50-50 because like Nikki said, I was doing most of the household stuff as a woman. So yeah, I just think that I would never do the, the separate and you put so much in. Like I said, we putting everything together.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I can dig it. Yeah. It's a slippery slope,
Hmm.
because you can get into, one of those situations to where one person feels a little bit slighted because they're doing more than the other, right? And and especially if both parties work, that changes the
Right.
whole dynamic too. You know what I mean? Like she said in the clip, like if my man's the number one provider and I'm taking care, I'm gonna take care of everything else. I'm booking this, I'm doing that, socks, drawers. I'm making sure the
Hmm.
kid's good. He ain't gonna have to worry about any of those things because he's, you know, the number one or the 100% provider, and her role is to take care of the house. Basically,
Hmm.
that's how I took that from what she was saying, right? But when you got
Hmm.
Yeah.
two people working, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's where it can get a little tricky, you know.
Yeah.
And it does, unfortunately, I would agree with y'all that it does, unfortunately, some of those tasks do fall on y'all lap a lot of times.
Hmm.
But y'all
Hmm.
good at some of that other stuff. Y'all good at
Don't
that.
say that. I
You,
was about to say
Don't
that's
say
that's
that.
what I used to always hear. But
no,
you
no,
could
no,
do
no.
it
But it's the
better.
truth.
Yeah.
Wait, no, hold on,
Yeah,
hold
but
on,
you're
hold
so
on.
good at it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So y'all don't believe that y'all are better at some things in the house than men? So
No.
if you had to do an average, how much would you average? Because if you better at doing the washing, and then I come in here and wash the clothes and everything white is blue now, you gonna kick me off washing anyway, right? Then don't you touch them clothes no more, right? So,
Well,
but go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, no, you
I'm gonna
good.
say this. So me and my person, he was better at mopping floors. So I mean, that's what I mean about that give and take. So he's
Hmm.
saying that, we better at some things that are,
Right.
household based, but when it came to mopping them floors and some other things, it even with food, I mean cooking, it was some things that I was the expert at and it was some things that he was the expert at, so we shared that. It wasn't, when I come home the food have to be ready, and things such as that, we discuss it, and it is what it is. But I will say also that I think the discussion around 50-50 is it's just too much. I think the whole concept of it is just crazy to me, because what happens is you and your person have to decide what is best for y'all.
Yeah.
Now, am I just looking for somebody to be a sole provider? Am I looking for somebody to be 50-50? Am I looking for somebody to be 75-25? That's not how it goes. And that's the mind frame we got to come out of. But it is up to you and your provider to decide what is best for y'all to talk it out. So I can say what's best for me. Someone else can say what's best for them, but it goes with, when y'all are coming together as one. And this whole
Yeah.
thing about talking about it publicly, to me, it's like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do at my house, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do in your
Right.
house, and it's not gonna be the same.
Right.
Because you have
Yeah.
some people that like 50-50. They like, I
Yes,
mean,
Yeah.
literally, you know what,
yes,
this is what we coming in doing. They love that. So,
yes, and ain't
like
nothing
Nikki
wrong with it.
said, if that's what works for you and yours, then hey, y'all do that. But,
Yes,
you have to look at what's best for you. You
Right.
know what's best for you, what's best for your situation. Because again, I might want to give only $1,000 a month, and he might only want to give that. So
Right.
hey, that's what's gonna work for us.
Right.
But I just think it all depends on what y'all talk about, how y'all choose to do your household in general, finances, kids, food, car, whatever. It's all up to you.
no, I was gonna say, because people are not married longer just because someone was going 50-50, or someone was more of a provider than others.
Oh,
That's
please.
not what makes marriages or break up marriages.
Don't even talk about the
Mhm.
length of marriages nowadays. That's a topic for a whole nother show.
Oh my
Is
goodness.
the in reference to the how people respect the
Marriage.
The
marriage
sanctity of
sanctuary. Yeah,
marriage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Yes,
It's,
on now.
yes,
That's
yeah,
it's
yes,
a
yes.
joke nowadays. It's a
Yeah,
complete
yeah,
joke versus what
yeah.
we saw in our households and just know,
Hmm.
from experience. But go ahead, Keela. You was about to say something.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Shimon and Tracy was just saying. So Me personally, like I said, I feel like 50-50 is 50-50, but I think personally, I wouldn't judge anyone to say, why would you do that? That's not going to work. I think that it all depends on the situation. I think for me and my spouse, it works, but I feel like because from where we came from, we've been together since, high school, and I feel like we have grown together. So I think that's a big difference. Now, if I'm out here, at a different age, and I'm trying to get out here date, I think maybe I would be looking at things in a different way. So I just think it all depends on your situation. So again, I'm not going to judge anyone. I don't feel like a marriage is not going to work because you're doing 50-50, but I do know from talking with some friends that I feel like people get into a lot of arguments when they just say they splitting everything down the line 50-50. So me personally, I don't feel like I can do that because I feel like if I'm splitting everything down the line 50-50, then it all depends on who makes what. Is that fair? Then if you're making 400,000 and I'm making 20,000, I still got to pay half. So I think I think it can get really tricky.
I was gonna say that's when mostly like the person, with that scenario, I'll be the one to get all the groceries and, pay the light bill and things like that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It depends on the person's situation, and y'all have to talk that through and have that understanding before y'all get into something. Not once y'all move in and you like, all right, well, who got it this month? That's a whole different scenario.
Right. Then
And
you sound like you're rolling the dice then.
Right. And I was going to say, I think that's a big thing too, is before you get into a relationship, that's why I always say, now that you are older, or now that I'm older, I would do things totally different. So it's before you get into a serious relationship, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had.
Yes.
What are we going to do? How are your finances? What is this? Like how some people say they joke and want to know credit scores, but hey, I do want to know your credit score. I do want to know what can we buy if we come together. And I think it has to do with us getting older too. Because when I was in my 20s, I wanted somebody to take care of me and give me everything. But now it's not even about, you want to build something with somebody.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
about you taking care of me or you paying all the bills and I'm just gonna keep all my money and all of that. I've never had a problem with giving or anything like that. So I do think as you mature too, things change. You look at things different because like I say, now we're at the age where if you are newly dating or, we not as fortunate as Keela to be married for 24 years, but but if you are out here dating or whatever you're out here doing, you need to, and if it's a serious situation, you need to have those type of conversations. They're hard conversations, but you need to have them.
No
You
doubt.
really do.
No doubt.
Yeah,
And
they can be hard.
especially because we got more years behind us than we do
Behind
ahead
it.
of us. So ain't nobody got no
Absolutely.
time to be playing around.
Right.
Exactly.
Not at this point.
Yes.
But this
Yes.
generational way of thinking and how they view everything we're talking about, they are completely discombobulated on how this thing really works. They're so
Yes.
wrapped up in what can you do for me? What can you do for me?
Yes.
What can you do for me? To a point, it's like, I got to do all this before we even, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what?
Right. Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to see if we can like do something more than that. You know what I mean? Like, do
Right.
you like you
Right.
know what I'm
Pay for
saying?
it up front.
What the hell? Listen,
What's
like,
that? That $40.
if I'm just in this thing to give a little something out my pocket to get a little something, I might as well run on down on Cicero, Madison.
Oh my God.
Not Cicero and Madison. Now, wait a
Go on,
minute.
run down there.
It's been the same way.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
might as well go on, and then I ain't got to hit a lip. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna break my little
Yeah.
money off and get what I came for, and I'm on up out here.
Right.
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 You know what I'm saying? If this is where we're going, then that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, but I'm gonna wrap up and then we're gonna move on. But Keela, you mentioned something that I wanted to just double back on in reference to how people get into how this 50-50 thing going into it that way for some, you end up in a lot of arguments behind it. And my belief is that, it well, obviously, if you go into it solely basing the idea of 50-50 on finances, it's always going to lead to some trouble. Now, even
Yeah.
if you come to a good understanding on how we're going to regulate the finances, you know, obviously, like you said, if someone is making more money than the other, then we probably a little bit of a different balance on who does what. But the other activities, the other things that are required in order for the household to function is normally that's where it gets out of whack. Because even if you come to a good understanding on the finances 50-50, like all the other logistics that need to happen to make the household food,
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
all these other
Yeah.
things, these other moving parts that people don't even weigh into the 50-50. They be like, all right, well, we
Right.
know how we going to pay the damn bills, but how the kids get to school?
Right.
Like, you taking them to that?
Right.
You
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's no
Mhm.
routine beyond how bills are paid. So this
Mhm.
Yeah.
mentality of 50-50 only being about money is the issue, because it's
Mhm.
really not. It's a part of it,
Mhm.
but it ain't
Yep.
all of it, and it shouldn't be the foundation that it's built on. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah. So I knew that was gonna
Mhm.
be a good one right there, y'all. I knew it.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit then. So I'm gonna put this question out there: has your spouse, previous spouse, current, whoever, ever told you that you don't listen?
Yep.
I'm waiting on
I'll say
all
Sure.
three of
yes.
y'all heads to shake. Yeah,
See, I was honest.
you
Yeah,
you was
sure
the first,
did.
Tracy. You was the first. I see Nick. She did a
I'm thinking
little.
about
Hey,
it like,
wait. Simone gonna do a little one of them little
mm,
subtle ones. Yeah. Uh,
Maybe not in those words, but okay.
yo, why you don't listen to me? Come on, me and we, however we phrase it, but
Mhm. Mhm.
Keela never.
oh yes, I'm sure I've heard it.
Okay, so tell me this: how would y'all define an empathetic listener versus a defensive listener?
Hmm. You listen to understand and not listen to respond.
Mhm. And I was about to say a defensive listener is not listening.
Mm-mm.
They just trying to get they point in. They not
Yep.
listening.
Yep.
They waiting to rebuttal, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
They
and
they waiting for you to stop talking so they can get their piece in and
right,
try to prove you wrong.
Trying to prove
And
a point.
yeah,
oh, right.
yeah. And most of the time, those are the ones that they not saying anything. All they trying to do is come out as the winner.
Mhm. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what it is. A defensive listener is not listening. I think somebody that's empathetic, they're going to listen and think before they respond to what you're talking about. They're going to listen to understand what you're saying. And I can honestly say that I have been a defensive listener in the past.
That
I
was my
have
next
truly been
question.
a I was about to say, I can honestly say I have been a defensive listener. And again, I always say it goes with growing. As I've aged and matured, now I understand that I can't, just react. I'm just trying to, like Nikki said, I'm just like, what's the next thing? Be
Mm-hmm.
quiet so I can tell you what say what I need to say. So
Mm-hmm.
that has been I mean, honestly, that has been my issue. But I don't do that anymore. I've learned, that I have to, shut my mouth and hear what's being said to me, and then I come back. But yeah, I must be honest. I have in the past been a defensive listener.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got you.
I
So
think we all have.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Truthfully.
I struggle with it. I'm not even gonna front. I
Hmm.
struggle with it. But that's that. You got to kind of all. It seem like you got to have that inner conversation with yourself during in
Hmm.
that moment, like just
In that
shut up,
moment.
boy,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
listen. You know what I'm saying? But before
And
we
it'd be
go,
so
it's
hard. It'd be
so
so
difficult.
hard.
It's
It's
so
so
difficult. But
hard.
look, so we gonna double back. I think you had some, Keela, but I'm gonna play the clip and see how that changes us, or what it does to the convo. Y'all ready?
Mhm.
All right.
Unpopular opinion. Expecting that man to lead when you don't listen is crazy work. And most women, not all, are actually not good listeners, but they require their partner to have good communication skills. But in order for a good communication to happen between two people, empathetic listening must take place. Empathetic listening is whenever you focus on the perspective and validation of the other person who's speaking to you. Most women are defensive listeners, which means that they're focusing on the trigger words that's going to come from it, right? The perception of the comment that you're saying, they go into defense mode about. So immediately, instead of focusing on a solution, we're going to focus on what you said to me and how you said it and why you said it to me, knowing who I am to you. So in order to have a good communication style between you and your person, you have to learn to listen. And if you're not the best listener, that's okay. You can learn to listen. It's actually a skill that can be acquired over time. And it's not a bad skill to have. Some of us actually have to learn to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Key
I
words were
agree.
over time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think that not being a good listener or being defensive is a cause for I'm done with you.
Mhm.
It has to, you know what I'm saying? Number one, you have to learn your person. And the way that I communicate, it could be softly, it could be loudly, um, it could be, you know, the way I express my words and express my feelings. But over time, like she said, you know, once you express to someone, okay, you said this to me this way, but, you know, I'm not really picking it up that way. I know that I am an analytical person. That is my field in the job force as well, and I am well at it. But so I know I overanalyze things, right? And so somebody could be saying something, and with me, I'm not trying to respond to be defensive of anything. I really am trying to think the whole thing out. And so that I am listening because I want to hear everything you're saying and I want to try to, you know, figure it out. So in my mind, my wheels are turning and I'm trying to figure it out.
Active listening is important, right? And the
Mhm.
the you know the and it really it also kind of really depends on the topic and what it is that you're talking about, because I
Yeah.
think sometimes passion gets in the way, right? How passionate someone may be about that particular topic is just like, you know, you just have this input that you want to deliver, and you're trying to deliver it, but in the midst of it, you're thinking too much about it, and you completely miss the other person's point. Completely.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which then puts
Yes.
more fuel on the fire, and before you know it, you're arguing about the fact that you're not listening. So we
Yes.
it goes from the
Not,
topic. Now we done threw another topic on top. Is you even listening to me? You know
you
what I'm
don't
saying?
even listen to me. You ain't heard a word I said.
You ain't heard shit. I've been sitting here talking to you. Like what? Wait a
Now
minute.
y'all got two fights.
Exactly. Now
Exactly.
you don't even know which one to argue about. Like what the hell? What are we
Right.
doing?
What were we talking about?
Right. Shit. Let's just go to
Don't even
bed.
know how it's
Shit.
bad about.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just go to bed because I'm just tired of
Right,
talking about shit.
right.
we obviously ain't getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Gee whiz.
Hmm.
But it is extremely important, and I know that this has been a hard one for me, like for real, and because it don't even though a woman delivered the message, that's a universal thing right there.
Hmm.
That's
Mhm.
definitely a
Yes.
universal thing, because I
Yes.
will
Yes.
I will be trying to understand what it is that she's saying, and I may even ask follow up questions. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that'd be the thing. People sometimes be so ready to get a point. It's like, okay, ask a couple questions because
Mhm.
it may answer whatever it is you about to bring to the table anyway. So if there's any
Yeah.
level of confusion and the other part is cutting each other off, right?
Hmm.
And um it's a that's the most difficult thing to do too, right? You know, like just shut up until the person's done. But then, you know, if you sitting there like, all right, are you done? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
hurry up,
Right?
hurry
Like,
up,
no,
hurry
no,
up.
no. And how are you supposed to deliver that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm sitting there, right? And I'm waiting. And I'm listening, but then you want to be respectful, right? And give everybody the opportunity to get their thought off. But then when, you know, you think they're done, you're trying to, because if they don't say, okay, I'm done, and then you go, then you're like, all right, are you done? And now you seem condescending, right? Start a whole nother argument. Oh, well, why you say it like that? I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a slippery slope, man. You know what I mean?
It is.
And it's like she said, overtime. Because if that's just not, and especially if that's your profession, like Nick said, that's her profession. So all day long, she's being analytical.
Mhm.
Like,
And,
how is
and
it?
it's
How you
hard to
supposed
turn off.
right? How you supposed to
Yeah.
click that switch, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, Keela, what you got?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it from both sides. I'm laughing because I can see like what you just said that, hey, okay, I'm waiting. I've been in a situation where, okay, like, okay, you done, then you're waiting because then, um, me personally, I will automatically get defensive. Now you asking me, am I done? Like, so
Right,
then you're not
another
really
argument.
listening to what the question is,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's it's
Mhm.
it's hard to do that. You know what I mean? Like one thing that I learned, and I was at Broadview Baptist. I don't know, y'all know the church, but there they have a marriage ministry that I was a part of when I was married, and there was a book that they taught about communication. Right? They taught about love languages and all of that too, but there was a book that they taught about communication, and they in the book recommended that you have like a particular item, whatever that may be. It could be anything, a towel, a pen, a book, whatever. Whoever got it, it's their turn. When they
Mhm.
done, they pass the item to the other person. Then there's
Mhm.
no
Yeah.
confusion on when you're done. And we ain't sitting here saying, are you done? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
cause
the oh,
go ahead.
go
No, no,
ahead.
no.
I'm
Go
sorry.
no, you good, Trace. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the funny thing about that is that me and my old person, we were in counseling and they told us that
Oh,
about
really?
the item,
Right.
hold the item, but
Right.
that was still an issue because somebody would have an item too long. It's like, okay, been holding it for 20 minutes now. Come on. So
That
that was an
communication
issue.
It's in the
problem.
hip.
Exactly. But then that goes back to one of the things I was gonna say too, when I don't know who said it, but it was like when you ask questions, because that's what I am. I'm a question asker. If I don't
Mhm.
understand something, I'm gonna ask you,
Mhm.
well, you need to understand, explain this to me. Like I need layman terms, break it down for
Yeah.
me. But that was always an issue too. Well, why you asking questions? You're not listening to what I'm saying if you gotta ask questions. So it's like, okay, I can't ask a question. If I give my input, that's wrong. So communication is a mother. I mean, if
Mhm.
you don't have good communication skills, I don't care how amazing your situation is. If y'all can't communicate, it's a wrap. So it's just, I think, because you have some men out here too, that they just not good communicators. Because men, y'all supposed to be so strong. Y'all not supposed to be
Mhm.
vulnerable. Y'all not supposed to talk about this. So you
Yeah.
have some men that hold things in.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, talk to me.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
just like I said, communication is, I mean, oh my god, it is key. You have to communicate.
But you
Mhm.
bring up a good point. That actually poses a question because that is in reference to men have being tough and we don't
Mhm.
express our feelings and all that bullshit. Now, a man that's secure with himself has no problem with doing this. By the way, let me make
Mhm.
that very clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the issue that we have with doing it, and it may be from a previous situation or what have you, is that it's already hard enough to be vulnerable, right? And when we have done that with someone, that means we are absolutely without a doubt feeling this person. We feel comfortable enough to give very, very personal information to them. Now, what that person chooses to do with said information sometimes becomes the issue. Do you take it for what it is that I'm giving it to you and you be in my ear in my vulnerable moment? Or are you taking this to use it as artillery later? You know what I mean? So it
Mhm.
really depends on how genuine the person is that we're giving this information to. And since it's so hard for us to do it when we do that, and if it's violated, it's gonna take a damn bulldozer to open that door again. You know what I mean? So it's really, really hard for us to be vulnerable. But when you are real, when we feeling somebody, we'll do it. We'll do it. We just want to know that we in that safe space. And I think that goes either way, right? Women want to feel to be in
Yeah.
that safe space with the person,
Yeah.
with the man that they're with
Yep.
as well, so
Mm-hmm.
that they can be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable. But y'all are obviously emotional creatures, right? So y'all can express yourselves way better than men. We just not good at it, really. Honestly, that's just one of those things that most of us are not good at. We can do it, but we just not the best at it. And you guys can get your emotions off your chest quickly, with no problem. So, and that's a
I
topic
don't
for
know.
Yeah.
I think some of us hold stuff back as well. I know I'm like that personally. I will hold something and then once I express it, then that's when it
It's a
becomes
problem.
emotional because
Okay.
now I'm exploding because I've held it in for so long because I didn't think that I could say something. You know what I mean? So we deal with that too. It's you got to feel it from both ends. And
yeah.
I've been with someone that they just express, and didn't leave me any room to express. So
Mm, mm,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, I feel like it's the opposite. So I don't have a problem with saying how I feel. So maybe I over communicate.
That is a thing, Keela. That is a thing.
It is.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it
we
is.
all need to know when to shut the hell up. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That I
Like
always be like, I
But
tell too much of my business.
you know what I'm
Goodness.
saying? Well,
So
for me, it's not even the telling the business part. It's being too blunt and abrupt, and
mm-hmm.
knowing
Mm-hmm.
and knowing when to dial back.
Yeah, that's something I probably got to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So and
look, and
it's just
she been with somebody for 32 years, and look, she's still saying it may be something she got to work on.
see,
Look at
ain't
that.
nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
Right.
we
We
all,
constantly growing.
man. What we all ball of
Mm-hmm.
clays throughout the entire
Yep.
time that we exist with never a finished
Mm-hmm.
product. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
when you think you a
Yeah.
finished product, that's when you done lost yourself. Period.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's
Yeah.
refreshing though, that somebody that's been with someone as long as they have and can say something like that because we all think that at a certain point it's supposed to be perfect, right? No
Right.
No.
flaws, no none of that.
Right.
And I think that's where people have the misconception of everything's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If I would be lying if I said, "Oh, I've been together, with my husband for 30 some years and everything's just perfect." No,
Right.
everything's not perfect.
Right.
And if someone would say that, they would be lying. So
Right.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're constantly growing. I feel like we almost still, like we know each other, but you're still
You
learning,
still
of each
learning.
other.
For
So,
sure.
and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm learning to pull back and maybe, you know, not speak my mind as I it's coming out. Sometimes I have to take a step back. So um, to be able to let my husband be able to communicate and say what he wants to say instead of me just abruptly saying, "Oh, this is what I want to do," or "This is not that don't make sense." So I just think that when it comes to communication, you have to be able to see both sides and be able to be open and knowing that there is room for improvement and not just thinking that your way is the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
And you
Well
have the
said.
wherewithal to stick it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So this is off topic, and I don't even have a clip for it, but I put it in my questions for y'all. Uh, do you think? Do you think or feel that a man needs to earn your submission, or is it given to him because he's the man?
Mhm.
That's a good one, ain't it? I know. Go ahead. You want me?
I'll
You want me?
say it
You
like
want?
this.
You want me to
Everyone,
repeat it?
no,
Hmm.
I mean, this has been a topic for years. I will say that everyone is not worthy of it. I can't be submissive to someone who doesn't have their stuff together, that, not paying their bills on time, not acting as the head, just because you can say, this or that doesn't make you the head. You have to give me a reason to be submissive. I can't just walk in being submissive, although I do walk in with a little bit of vulnerability, and because you are the man, and I can show you that I can be submissive. But if you're not doing anything for me to be submissive to, then no. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
You have to be worthy of it. So yes, I do think that it is earned for me.
Tracy, we're gonna go to you. Akila, I want you to close this one. Go ahead, Tracy.
I have to agree with Nikki. That's not something that just because you're a man, I'm just going to automatically be submissive. Absolutely not. You have to, you have to show me what, why am I being submissive to you? What are you bringing to this relationship for me to be submissive to you? I've grown up in a household where my mother was, submissive to my father. He was the head of the house. That's how it was. And I would love to be like that. But again, you would have to show me, you would have to prove to me that I should be submissive to you. So no, it's not just a given just because you the man, I'm gonna be submissive. So no, I have to go with they would have to prove me being submissive to them.
Yeah.
Come on, Keela.
Okay,
land the
so
plane for us.
so how I feel about this topic is, I would say probably 30 some years ago, I would say definitely I felt like my husband had to earn it, that I wasn't just going to be automatically submissive. But now being married for so many years, and just, believing in my husband, and he has shown me that, he is the man of the house. And so I have no problem with being submissive.
Yeah, but he earned it. I mean,
Right.
he proved
Yes.
himself. He
Yes.
proved himself. Yeah. And that's not saying, like, I don't feel like it's saying that um I don't have a list of what it really is, right? But there are some ways that a man will stand out. And he can be the provider in so many ways, and and prove that he's the man of the house. So yeah.
So I also, as a man, agree that it should be earned. Okay. I believe it's stupid to believe that just because you are a
Be a
male,
man.
born a man, you just earn that right. Now, I believe along the way there'll be signs. Along the way, there'll be signs. You'll see them once you're with someone long enough, and you or around them long enough, you tend to start to watch habits, tendencies, things of that nature, right? And then it gives us an idea of I would say give y'all, since we talking about ladies, give y'all an idea of how we as men, how we're functioning in our day to day, right? If I'm gonna submit 100% to this individual, I need to know that they can lead me in the right direction. So, but we as men also look for certain traits and characteristics and things of that nature. And we're watching trends and behaviors and things of that nature as well to determine if this is someone that we even want to lead, right? So it goes, both ways. But I believe the misconception a lot of times is just that because, I'm a man, bow down, right? Go in there and get them grits and eggs up in here, woman. I'm hungry, damn it. I don't care that you work 16 hours and I've been home on the PlayStation all day. No.
Yes, yes, yes.
But just in general, it's definitely something that goes both ways. And I do believe that everyone needs to make sure that they don't have the blinders on and let that puppy love and, you know what I'm saying, it's so new and you just all in it, you know what I'm saying, and your head's in the clouds to where you miss something. You miss a red
Mhm.
flag. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you done got under the same roof and damn, here come the red flag that I missed when had my head in the clouds in La La Land, right? So
Mhm.
like, when you get a little older, the honeymoon ends real quick. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You don't really stay in it too long before the reality sets in, and then you don't really know somebody until you get under the same roof with them almost. Do y'all believe that?
Yeah.
Y'all
Yes.
believe that?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just don't believe people should get married before they live with somebody. That
Yeah,
is,
that's
Hmm.
true.
I don't,
Think that's true.
the shack, and if we was back in the
I was gonna say
damn,
we too
you know what I'm
old for
saying?
that.
If we was way
I
back in our
mean,
parents' days talking about shacking and all of that, then it would be different. You
right.
know what I mean?
Or another thing I think people could do is travel. When you travel with somebody,
Yeah.
and I don't mean like travel for a couple days. You go out of town with somebody for 6, 7 days, you
Right.
learn a
Yeah.
lot about
Yeah,
a
you see
person.
intimacies.
You learn a
Yeah.
lot
Yep.
about a
Yep.
person.
Yep.
Yeah.
How they doing with them
'Cause-
clothes and that bag?
Yes,
You just gonna leave them
yes.
Yeah.
drawers on the floor?
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
so
Because
so
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 you
now
you
so
learn a
this is
lot.
this what you do with your drawers when you at home?
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, because I think I disagree about having to live with somebody before you get married. I think I've changed in that opinion.
Really?
But I
Really.
Please
think that I
elaborate.
think the traveling, and I mean we probably at each other's houses a lot as it is, and I know it's a little different when I'm bringing my bag or you bringing your bag,
But
but
what if I'm just
I
clean?
don't
What
I
if
don't
I'm
fully.
cleaning up and playing the game and playing the role on vacation? What if I'm throwing everything in the closet and shutting the door when I know you coming? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
It's
but that's
nothing like every day waking up with a person. You cannot get you. That's how
mhm.
you get the full view. You can get a glimpse doing it your way. Like I agree with you. It's not that you can't get any information from it. I just don't think you're going to get the full picture because that person can still have their representative in place. The real person ain't came yet. The real person ain't came out, out from out the shadows and showed you themselves. So I can all day
Mm.
long when you come over, I know let me go ahead and move this around, move that around, move this around, move that around. And then when you're gone, let me go and take it back on out and get back to what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? So, but I get your point. I just don't I think you can get the full picture when you under the same roof 24/7. Do you not agree?
I agree.
Mm.
You
Nikki,
see,
I,
still
I
don't.
see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
Mm-mm.
but I think living with a person, oh my goodness, that tells you so much about a person. Because like Aunt said, when you go, like even now, my place, when my guy come over, spotless, spotless. But if I know he not coming over, I leave my shoes at the front door. But if he was here every day, you gonna see all of that. You gonna see shoes. I'm still comfortable around here where it's stuff that I do with him, anyway. But I just think being around a person for an extended period of time really shows you who that person is. It really
Extended
shows you who
period
that
of
person
time. Absolutely. Extended
not a
period of time.
vacation, Nikki. Not a
No,
vacation.
That
I
ain't gonna
mean,
do it.
no,
That's just
no,
not
and
gonna do
no,
it.
I get what y'all saying, but I'm not fully disagreeing on it, but I don't
Mhm.
think that's the only way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's like
no. Mm-mm.
there are some. I don't think you have to. Like the emphasis for Ant seems like the on the word have to. You got to. You need to. No, I don't think you.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't think you
you don't
have
have to
to.
do anything. I'm just saying, okay, all right. If you're gonna take it literally, Nikki, yes,
Analytical.
yes, I did say
Exactly.
that.
That's what she just
But
said.
generally speaking, um, you're gonna be able to get more information about a person if you're under the same roof
Yeah.
24/7.
No,
That
I
that
feel
that's
you.
that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, good stuff,
you.
y'all, man. This was great. I'm glad this one went well this time. We got the audio. We ain't
Yes.
had no garble or nothing in the audio, right?
Like we've been
Exactly.
trying to get to the people.
Man, right, right. And Mr. Anthony fans, we tried to do this and it was just booming horrible. So we had to double back. So I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate y'all taking the time to come back on here with me and do this again. All right, so I want
Okay.
to leave y'all with a special word of motivation. and then we'll wrap out.
The truth is, I set the tone and he set the lead. Meaning I let him know exactly how he got to deal with me. I make it clear and then I let him take it from there. Do not waste my time. I do not care what type of watches you wear. I let him know what it is and then I observe him. And pushing a good man to be something better is something I'm still learning. Because I learned my lessons. These cats to do whatever you let them. And then get to tripping when you acting like a dog off the leash. I would never bite the hand that feed, but if you kept a bitch safe, I wouldn't have had to show you my teeth. Rule of thumb, I have realized that I can tell who I'm dealing with based off of who I start to become, so don't get offended if I say that I'm done. Couldn't take you serious, but hey, at least we had fun. But if I feel safe in your lead, trust and believe you can get it out of me. You'll feel it happen once I start to submit. I'm really all in and you'll get to feeling like you really him. And it ain't from what you tell me, it's everything you showing. And if I decide to get involved, it's because I'm already knowing. I know what I'm looking at, and I see what I'm getting myself into. You handle me gentle and you good for my mental. And I don't gotta remind you that I'm really one of them ones. Because it's all respect between us when it's all said and done. And you don't got me out here trying to prove that I'm tough. You just want to keep me safe. You know this world done enough. It's just that I understand my nature, so I know that whatever you give me times 10, you gonna receive. I set the tone, and I'm gonna watch how you lead.
Y'all have a blessed one, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank
All right,
you. You
thanks.
too.
Talk to y'all
Thanks for
later.
having us.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Man, y'all go ahead, give it up for the ladies once again, man. Absolutely. I salute to y'all, queens. I truly, truly appreciate y'all spending this time with me. They even had to double back and do this and took time out their schedule again to come back so that we can get everything right. That tells me they appreciate what we're doing over here on the Mr. Anthony Show. And we also appreciate y'all right back. So once again, salute to you, queens. Appreciate you. The moral of the story today, 50-50 in the household. Where they do that at? Submission. Is it a given or is it earned? Do you actively listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth? Or are you just waiting on to get in so that you can rebuttal what I'm saying? This is something that happens also often in all relationships. Finances. 50-50, the idea of it is always built on finances for some reason. When there's so many other intangible things that need to take place, that need to happen in the household, especially when you have children. So to have the idea that it's solely about money is ridiculous, in my opinion. You're misleading yourself if you believe that it's just about finances. One person may make more money than the other, so it's impossible for them to be 50-50 financially. But that's where the other things are picked up. Both people are working. Not one person between the two adults in the house should always be doing more than the other. I'm here to take something off your plate. You here to take something off my plate. That's how you get to true 50-50. It's not always about money. We have to let that go. The misconception of 50-50 is I'm giving you 1,000, you give me your 1,000, we gonna put it in this account, and this is how we gonna get the bills paid. It's not just about that. Obviously, a portion of it is about it, but it ain't just about that. And then, are you listening to understand, or are you listening to respond? Right? Active listening. This is something that I personally struggle with, and always, not always, but I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, y'all. I'm a work in progress. I know sometimes I will sit and just wait for someone to stop so I can get my point in. I'm guilty, but I'm working on that. But this is not an uncommon thing for anyone. It's not an uncommon thing for anyone. We all struggle with that, in my opinion. If you could sit here and honestly say that you have never ever been a defensive listener, you're probably lying. So be realistic with yourself. It's not always going to be that way. It's not always going to be I'm hearing everything that you say. Depends on how passionate you are about the topic. You know what I'm saying? So definitely one of them, the ones that you just always want to try to work on and come to a common understanding of how we're going to communicate, because it's important. It's really, really important. And I'm the man. You need to submit to me, woman. Or do I need to do certain things and show certain characteristics before you will completely submit? Yeah. I'm sure you might got some brothers out there that feel, since I'm the man, damn it, you need to be following my lead. To some degree, that holds a little bit of truth, but you also need to show that you can lead, right? We have to prove that. And the woman also needs to prove that they can be led. So it's not just all on us, right? It's not just all on us. We can't lead someone who don't want to be led, even if you're a great leader. So the responsibility goes both ways. If I show and prove that I can lead you, then it's your responsibility, or it's on you to submit so that I can lead us in the right direction, right? That's how it should be. Nowadays, it's a little different. It seemed like this new generation, they want to lead. The man is the one following. Okay, babe. What do you want me to do? Okay. All right. Oh, I got to go get my own food. Okay, thanks. Come on now. Yeah, I'm joking, but y'all understand my point, right? Someone such as myself who done been around the block a couple times in reference to life, understand that it's bigger than that. The man has a ton of responsibilities. The woman has a ton of responsibilities. You got to know your role and discuss it. And then there shouldn't be a problem with understanding where someone is coming from. And, you see how a man maneuvers on a day-to-day basis, taking care of his business, how he moves, how he, treats his children, how he operates in reference to his finances and things of that nature. Over time, those things will start to show themselves if you didn't already have the discussion early in the game. But the bottom line is submission is earned, not given. We have to show that we can lead. At least we should want to show that we can lead. And ladies need to show that they can be led, especially when you are in the midst of a true leader. That's my 2 cents on that, baby. But man, these are some great topics, and I can go on and on about it, but I do appreciate the love, everything that y'all do for the Mr. Anthony Show is always greatly appreciated. And if you made it to the end of this episode, much love to you and yours. Many blessings to you in life. I hope everything that you have strived and shooting for is there for you. And it comes to you and you can attain it. And I sincerely appreciate that. Appreciate you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for making it to the end of another episode of the Mr. Anthony Show. We'll see you on the next one. Be blessed.